Great Grand Rising, Halito to everyone out there. Halito, I needed to do this video. Please remember to subscribe, share the video, and go to www.I-N-N-Indigenous.org and find out a lot more about the organization and speaking engagements and all the other things that we're doing to trying to move our people forward. So I need to make this quick video. I just wanted to make it quick. I won't be sharing everything anymore on Facebook. I won't be sharing everything on the YouTube videos and stuff like that. This part one, I'll give a little bit more of a detailed explanation of things later on tonight in terms of the decolonization of the so-called African American, the decolonization of the so-called slave race, or whatever you want to call it. There's a few things I need to really set straight because there was a big giant conversation that was going on. Great Grand Rising there, original copper color Empress. There was a few things that were going on Facebook there about, how long will it take to decolonize? What is the decolonizing process? And there was a big giant conversations and this, that, and the other thing going on. And again, that discussion was beautiful, was wonderful, but I just want to set some parameters and make sure that people understand what this is all about. One, what is the decolonization process? Why should we even consider it? How long will it take? All those different types of questions. So the first thing is, there is a process of decolonization, and the decolonization that I.N.N.A is doing, the indigenous nations in North America, that's just not just one person. It is everyone that is included. Halito family, Red Rain, Halito. Everyone that is involved in this quote-unquote white supremacist system, underneath this structural abuse, structural violence system, is involved in the conversation of this decolonization. Decolonization is just part of the process. It's part of the process in order for you to be able to move forward and help you to be able to organize all across this country in order for us to be able to put ourselves in a place to have the right to self-determination, which is extremely important. The right to self-determination means that you are now in a system as to where you're no longer controlled by the white supremacist system, and you're no longer underneath the structural abuse and the structural violence system, which is worldwide. Understand that. So it's a process. It's just part of the process. That's not the whole entire thing. The era of decolonization is a whole entire process. It's a process of setting up a system, reestablishing a system. That's what I.N.N.A wants to do. Reestablish a system upon which you came out of before they came, before the invaders came, before the war started, right? So that's the first thing you need to understand, right? That it's a process. The decolonization era is a process. It's different from the civil rights era. It's different from the Black Panther, the Black Power movement. It's different from all those different types of movement in the way that this is not a part of the white supremacist system. It's not a part of the structural abuse system, and it's not here to try to in any way elevate that system over you, over your rights, over your being. This is the first time that a moving forward process has been engaged and in place specifically for those prisoners of war, those people who have been colonized, those people who are now living in a land that is occupied, to be able to move forward and out of the system entirely. So decolonization, one, is just a process. Two, part of the process is developing the community nations. Why did we develop the community nations? Because in order for us to be able to govern ourselves, provide for ourselves, we need a linking system. We need a governance system in order for us to be able to surround ourselves to protect the people, so that we'll be able to put in place the processes of our own healing. Healing is extremely important. That's another part of this whole entire system. So the right to self-determination, decolonization, is a process so that we will be able to set up a system in order for us to be able to move forward. Without that system, we'll be doing everything that we've been doing, such as the civil rights movement, Black Power movement. There would be nothing for us to be able to lay our hands onto. So that's the second thing. How long does this take? This process will take as long as your minds will allow it to take, because the first thing we need to do is be able to fill out our system, set up our system in order for us to be moving forward. So the decolonization of the African American is extremely important. The decolonization of the so-called African American, so-called black, and of the indigenous being, the people, and of the prisoners of war, slave race, is extremely important. Extremely important in order for us to be able to do what we need to do in order for us to be able to help and heal our people. Second thing you have to remember is that you are in jail. Everybody, consider yourself in a situation that we're in jail. Nobody has any real rights underneath this system. It's a process of getting yourself out of and not further into. So we have to do that in order for us to be spiritually, mentally, physically free. Great Grand Rising, brother. Keep it up. Keep it up. Great Grand Rising. So a lot of these things is why I'm now going out and speaking. We're having a big giant summit meeting in New Orleans, March 22nd. All the details are going to be coming out. And this is to actually set up the conversation between all of the indigenous nations of at least the South, to set up this great Grand Council or the Congress or whatever they want to call it, in order for us to be able to facilitate us as being one people. This is all part of the decolonization era. This is all part of stripping ourselves away from a system that is geared to kill you. Now, second, understand, don't give up your birth certificate. Don't sign citizenship papers for anybody. This is not a revolution. This is not a revolution. This is a reestablishment. This is a reestablishment process that we are entering ourselves into in order for us to be free. This is real. This is serious, and this is not from the boule, as people call it, or any of the what they call the system, black leadership. Not coming from them at all. This is coming from us, coming from your souls, coming from what you know what is right. So that's the other thing. This is not a revolution. You don't go out there and start picking up arms and, we need an army and all this other type stuff. We're in no position, no place of doing any of those kinds of things. This is not to bring down the United States government or to attack them in any kind of way. This is to reestablish you and us as beings of people in a system upon which we came out of before the war starts. Now, the only way that we can do anything is we have to end the war. That's the decolonization, the right to self-determination. We have to end the war, right? The war is still going on. And as long as this war is still going on, you have no rights. You are a prisoner of war. Your children are prisoners of war. Your mother before her, your grandparents, your uncles, your aunts, all of your people are prisoners of war. I don't care what organization you're in. I don't care what part of the country you're in. You are peace, the original one. You are a prisoner of war. Remember that. You have no rights. So anybody coming up and saying that I'm a leader of this, I'm a leader of that, you are a leader of the prison system that has given no one any real rights. Period. This is the reason why the decolonization era is so important, because what is happening is that we're laying the foundations in order for us to be able to get out of this prison by ending the war, right? We first have to get out of the white supremacist system, and then we have to get out of the structural abuse system that is holding the whole entire world captive. So that's a process. It's a process. And I don't want this to go on longer than 10 minutes, but it's a process, and that's what's happening. But you are a prisoner of war. So anybody coming around saying, give me your birth certificate, I can get you some money. Give me your Social Security. No, your Social Security, I can give you some money. I can do this, that, the other thing. We're going to court because I'm going to get your land back. No. Sorry. No. You're at war. You're in prisoner of war, and everything that you're doing is a prisoner of war. If you're a teacher in the prison system. They gave you the rights to be able to teach the prisoners what they want you to teach. If you're a minister in the prison of war. If you're a chief right now, you're a chief of the minister of war, right? Anything that you're doing right now, working, anything, is to support the system upon which is keeping you a prisoner of war. Slaves were prisoners of war that were forced to work on free labor camps. They were in concentration camps, and I explained all of this in the lectures that I give. I explain all of this in the presentations, right? All of this. It's past 10 minutes now, so I'm going to get ready to go. But this is basically what it's all about. Remember, you are a prisoner of war. You have no rights. You have no rights. And when you talk about, and this is the thing about Facebook. This is the thing about, even YouTube and all this other type stuff. It is street corner politics. People getting together that ain't really doing a damn thing to move your people forward. Love the conversations and everything like that, but we have to make actual strides to move ourselves forward in this supremacy system and out of the structural abuse, structural violence system. Talking about it ain't gonna do a damn thing. Sorry about that. But I get really knee deep into all this stuff when we do that. So I'll have a little bit more for you later on tonight when we do our show. And let me know, if you guys want me to do more live shows, I'll do that. Don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get the subscribership up so that we know that we're reaching more people. And anything that you donate, the $10 donations, whatever, go into providing free lectures into areas that can't pay for themselves. We have to reach an enormous amount of people in order for us to be able to move this process forward. And we can't do it without your help. We have to do this as a collective. So that's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. But bottom line is, what is decolonization? Decolonization is a process of the right for determination for our people. The original one, yep. Appreciate you guys getting on here. So a right to determination for self. It is to get you out of the supremacist system, and then move us out of the structural abuse, structural violence system that is encapsulating the world. And then it helps us to be able to formulate what we need in order for us to put in a system of our own that we're reestablishing so that we can get the needed, necessary healing to our people. Right? So when people start talking about, reparations, I'll have it later on tonight. Listen later on tonight, because I'm going to talk about reparations. I'm going to talk about all that stuff, right? I'm going to talk about the recompense that is owed to the prisoners of war that were attacked and slaughtered on this Turtle Island, on this Americas, on you. Love you people. Have a great grand rising, great day, and remember, no matter what, when you come here to I.N.N.A is a place as to where you can really think about your inner soul, the inner souls of other people, and of the things that are around you, that you can really have empathy and be a real live being on the face of this earth the way that you're supposed to be. And do things that are going to make sure that we are all moving forward together and as one. And whatever problems that you might be facing right now, remember that you're just moving through. Peace there, peace. You're moving through it, and no matter what, always face it with a smile, positive attitude, high vibrations, because you are what the universe has created in order for you to bring balance to all things that are around us. Peace, everyone. See you later on tonight, and may the universe bless you all.